Hi everybody, today we've got a hypothetical matchup between Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for the Democrats and Tucker Carlson for the Republicans. This is a crazy one, but it was suggested to me in the comments, and it's very difficult to do. You're going to have your own way to interpret this, but let's try to get into this. RFK, he's a complete pariah right now toward the Democrats, so if he were the nominee, I'm assuming there would be significant backlash from the establishment. The regular Biden liberal establishment base, they're not going to be a fan at first of RFK. Some of them are going to stay home, but once the general election rolls around, I think most of them are going to come home to their party. RFK will position himself as the sane choice, and he's going to get a ton of that support. Now, Tucker Carlson, we know his backstory. We know he said some things that a lot of people think are highly controversial. That stuff's going to be played on a loop. He's culturally populist. He's going to ignite a lot of the Trump voters. I think his economic populism is probably going to be lacking a little bit. There's going to be a big battle for the unions, the blue-collar working class vote. A lot of those Obama to Trump voters, they're going to be up for grabs, and RFK seems to currently have a decent amount of Republican support, so I do expect him to peel off at least 5 or 10% of the Republican voters. He's willing to say some things about vaccines and mandates that the current Democrats in power are not willing to say. That's going to be appealing for a certain segment of the Republican voters, as well as independents in the middle. Now, the suburbs, they're going to have to hear both sides are completely extreme. Some of them are going to stay home, so I'm trying to balance out both sides. Let's go through these states. We'll talk a little bit more about it at the end. Let's get started here in Alaska. This I have going leans for Tucker. I think there's enough non-Tucker fans in Alaska, combined with enough Republicans or independents, that would cross over and vote for RFK, and the margin would get down to low to mid single digits. Hawaii, safe for Kennedy. Washington, Oregon, California, those are going to be safe for Kennedy. Again, regular Democrats, not going to be a fan of RFK because it's not Biden, but in the end, they're not going to vote for Tucker. They're going to RFK. Next state, Nevada. That I think will be leans for Kennedy. Idaho, safe for Tucker, still a super red state. Utah will get down to likely for Tucker. They don't like Democrats there, but they don't like Trump Republicans either. But the partisan lean of the state is still going to keep this in the Republican column. Down to Arizona, that's going to be leans for Kennedy. Let's go up to Montana. That's going to get down under 10. It's going to go to Tucker by a likely margin. There's enough independent-minded voters there that are going to cross over and support Kennedy. Wyoming, safe for Tucker. Colorado, safe for Kennedy. New Mexico, likely for Kennedy. North Dakota, South Dakota, safe for Tucker. Nebraska at large, safe for Tucker. The 1st district, high single digits, likely for Tucker. The 2nd district, that's going to be likely for Kennedy. 3rd district, safe for Tucker. Kansas is going to get down under 10, likely for Tucker. Oklahoma, safe for Tucker. Texas is going to get very close, down to low single digits, probably 1 to 2 points, but it's still going to stay red, leans for Tucker. Up to Minnesota, that's going to be likely for Kennedy. Iowa, that's going to get down to leans for Tucker. Missouri will get down to likely for Tucker. Arkansas, Louisiana, safe for Tucker. Up to Wisconsin, leans for Kennedy. Illinois, safe for Kennedy. Michigan, leans for Kennedy. Indiana, high single digits, likely for Tucker. Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, safe for Tucker. Down to Florida, still going to go red this time, but it will be competitive, leans for Tucker. Georgia is going to be leans for Kennedy. South Carolina, high single digits, probably 9 to 10 points, likely for Tucker. North Carolina, leans for Kennedy. Up to Ohio, it's going to be closer than usual, leans for Tucker. West Virginia, safe for Tucker. Let's go to the corner. Maine at large, safe for Kennedy. The 1st district, safe for Kennedy. The 2nd district, I think this would be very, very close. I think it could go either way. I have it as a tilt for Kennedy. New Hampshire, likely for Kennedy. Vermont, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. Those are blue states. In this matchup, it's not going to change. They're going to go safe for Kennedy. Next state, Pennsylvania. That's going to be leans for Kennedy. And the last state is Virginia. Northern Virginia is going to be scorned because it's not Biden, but there's no way they're going to vote for Tucker. Not enough Trump voters in the state to flip it. It's going to be over 5, likely for Kennedy. And there's your final total. That's 320 for Kennedy, 218 for Tucker. And as I said at the beginning, your map is going to be different. You're going to emphasize different things. The way I saw this going was Kennedy peeling away a little bit of Trump voters, enough to cause these margins to go down. Some progressives, some establishment Democrats might sit home because it's Kennedy, but with Tucker in this equation, I think there will be enough scare tactics to drive voters away from Tucker and toward Kennedy, but I think in the end, all these margins would be reduced in favor of Kennedy. I assume the establishment would come out hard against Tucker. At first, they would come out hard against Kennedy, but in the end, they don't want to see Tucker in the White House. They'll come home to Kennedy. He's going to be pressed on the vaccine stuff. I don't think that has much staying power. I think Tucker would steal the spotlight. Kennedy would pivot toward the center. I think for the most most part, he would end up being an establishment Democrat. Maybe he's a little bit better on free speech, goes after big tech a little bit more. I think Tucker would do more of that. Tucker would be more populist on cultural issues. But Kennedy being relatively an outsider, he's going to benefit more from the crossover vote. It's just not going to be there for Tucker. Now, obviously, they're both going to have to go through all the issues. Some of those are going to favor Tucker. Some of them are going to favor Kennedy. And I've heard people on both sides say Kennedy is a breath of fresh air. He's a complete rock star. I've heard other people disparage some of the positions he has. It's hard to say how he would do with progressives, but probably almost no progressives are going to come out and vote for Tucker. Some of the Trump base is going to come out for Kennedy. And I think that is the key difference in this matchup. It's a crazy scenario. There's no telling how it would actually go. You could take a million different routes with this, but I don't see Tucker winning it. It's almost a landslide for Kennedy, but this is just what I think would happen. Let me know in the comments. Did I get this all wrong? And Kennedy has much less support than this. And maybe it's the other way around where the Trump vote would stay together and the Democrats would stay home, and it would go in the complete opposite direction with Tucker sweeping the Rust Belt, Arizona, Nevada. Let me know down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.